Whoop. I went to the wrong one. We
We
want
will
this
fix.
one.
There we go. Yeah, we were so used to doing watch-alongs, 7 hour watch-alongs.
7 hour watch alongs.
We were still stuck in that scene. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We are back, still conspiracy. You've been gone for a minute. Uh, as far as doing this show, if
Mm-hmm.
you didn't catch my joke, the 7 hour stream, UFC stream that we did was
Never again. Never ever again.
was one of the worst mistakes of my life. Not because I didn't enjoy spending time with Adelia, but 7 hours I was tired. um, yeah, how you doing, Adelia? It's been a couple weeks since we've done this show. How you doing today?
I'd be doing better if it had been my Broncos in the Super Bowl, but
I think everyone would have been doing better if it was your
we
Broncos
haven't
in the
done
Super
this
Bowl.
show since before that game, Broncos Patriots,
Yes, because we did not do a show
last week.
after
Yeah.
after the game. We did a watch along for that, and then we were like,
I
we're
didn't want to
excited.
talk about it.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about it. And and then you did the Super Bowl watch along, uh, which was I heard pretty funny.
Ferris was very clearly wanting the Seahawks to win. And Brandy was on there, of course. Brandy, the Patriots fan among the crew, very clearly not happy that the Patriots were not winning. And yeah, it got a little amusing. Say someone threatened to fly to the Bay Area and kick someone in a sensitive area. So
That must have been funny. Yeah, that was hilarious. We'll get into the Super Bowl game right now, but before we do, I just want to thank everybody that's been supporting the channel, supporting the show. Really appreciate it. Also, want to say to Adelia, thank you very much for this whole year. This is the first year of Still Conspiracy on LGRN, Good Friends, Better Rivals channel, and it was a great year. We're gonna have a great rest of the year. We are gonna do a little bit this show, not every week due to football season stopping, but we are gonna talk other sports. We're gonna be talking some other sports today. We're gonna talk
mhm.
some
We have a
rugby.
new segment on the show. I made an intro for it.
There we go. But we will be talking off season stuff for football. Baseball's around the corner. We'll be talking rugby. We have the Olympics going on. So we're still going to cover sports. We're just going to reduce it to twice a month. So make sure to come on, hang out with us. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification button, so that way you know when we go live. Really appreciate it. Make sure to comment and like. Check out all the links in the Discord, and let people know those links, where they go to, and what they will find at those links.
We have a Discord. Shug said Discord when he meant description, but we have a
Description.
Discord.
My apologies. Description.
We have a Discord. There's a link to that in the description of this episode. There are also links to our Patreon and Ko-fi pages if you want to help us keep the lights on around here, keep the production value up, stuff like that. That's what all of that money goes to. We have a Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/LGRN underscore official. If you have a question you really want read on the show, and that will guarantee your question or statement is read on the air. And yeah, just any and all support we appreciate, but the most important thing you can do is subscribe to the channel and like the video.
Yeah, definitely. We really appreciate all the support from everybody that check these videos out, leave comments, likes the video. We really do appreciate it. Adelia, like you said, disappointed your Broncos weren't in the Super Bowl, but the Patriots and the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl, or at least just for the fourth quarter, because the first three
Yeah.
quarters, good lord, look at that whole Sunday disappointed me. From the Super Bowl to not getting any Marvel trailers, which I'm super pissed about. But that'll be on the other
eight
channel.
million for 30-second spot. And that, like, if I, the commercials sucked. The trailers, we didn't get any good ones.
Nothing.
Nothing. Uh,
And then the game
and then the game. And the game was,
was
what was
just
that game?
abysmal. Was abysmal.
It was awful.
Abysmal. Um, just abysmal. Like You're a Broncos
Look,
fan.
when
I'm a
we're
Steelers
having a
fan.
debate on the live stream, if
Uh,
whether the kicker for Seattle should be the MVP,
MVP. Yeah.
you know it was a bad game.
Yeah, I was at a party and someone was saying that. They're like, "Is the kicker going to win MVP?" Which would have been absolutely gross. But
I was like, they will find someone else to give it to.
don't give it to the coach.
They'll give it to anyone else. They will never give MVP to the kicker.
You're a Broncos fan. I'm a Steelers fan. Look, we actually the Steelers played both of these teams. I don't know if the Broncos
The
played.
Broncos just played the Patriots.
Yeah. Um, I mean, obviously, I'm talking about regular season. Did you guys play the
No, we
Patriots?
didn't play either of them regular
Yeah,
season.
we played both teams, and the Seattle game was a close game up until some mistakes were made by our rookie running back, um, and we beat the Patriots. Obviously, turning the ball over, making Drake May turn the ball over. The team turned the ball over. Um, watching this game, I felt like, look, and I thought about you. I said, Broncos have Bo Nix. They're 100% would have whooped on the Patriots. And if the Steelers could have just turned those turnovers against the Texans into points, I feel they could have beat the Patriots as well. Because what I saw from the Patriots, just abysmal. Now, I will say Christian Gonzalez was making some very important plays. I will give him that.
Yeah.
But
Good evening, Yolanda. Thanks for joining us.
shout out to Yolanda. Appreciate you. How are you doing, Yolanda?
Go subscribe
Um,
to Yolanda's channel. Ravens Talk with Yolanda, I believe is the name of it.
yeah, definitely do that. Great insights on the Ravens over there. Um, this game, like
It was so bad.
it just, I was bored. I was so bored,
I
and
was so bored too.
all I kept looking at was my phone, trying to figure out when the trailers for the Marvel, like Doomsday or Spider Man, were going to come out. So
And they never came.
they
Yeah.
never came, and I was just,
Um
but
there
yeah,
yeah. Nothing about this game, not even the halftime show was good.
there was
The
just no.
halftime show was fine. Let me just say that. It was fine. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. Better than the alternative one that happened, but I mean,
The whole weekend was disappointed. Like, if anybody comments about the halftime show, I was fine with the halftime show, but compared to the last 2 years that we
compared to
had,
previous halftime shows, it was not that exciting.
yeah, it just wasn't. Like
And it,
last year's
and
was
before
amazing.
anyone comments, it's not because it was all in Spanish. I don't care that it was all in Spanish. The music had a good beat. I just okay.
Yeah, it was like okay, cool. But the game was like, you're thinking that this game is going to be high, high scoring, and maybe that was false hope because Seattle's defense is really good. Um,
Seattle's defense played very well.
yeah, but even then, like Sam Darnold didn't really have a great game. I mean, Kenneth Walker, he
Kenneth
had a
Walker was the one offensive player that had a good game.
yeah, but even then, it was spread out.
It was spread
Um,
out, but
it
that was
was
because of Darnold, I feel like.
yeah, and like Yolanda says, the Pats offense didn't even try to show up.
No, they
Like
didn't. I mean, they
and
showed up in garbage time. The game
yeah,
was over by the time they showed up.
and I'll even say this, for Yolanda, who's a Ravens fan, like you look at that game and you just go, God, if our team just could have put it together one time.
If my quarterback's ankle doesn't get broken,
Yeah,
this was an entirely different game.
I would say for you, you're closer to the Super Bowl than the
Yeah,
Ravens and the Steelers were.
I mean, literally, we were closer to the Super Bowl than you guys were, but like the Patriots. God love Brandy. I love Brandy so much, but they didn't play anybody in the playoffs whose quarterback played well.
Well, not even during the season,
Even
people
during the
brought up,
season, they didn't really play anyone. Like
yeah,
we at least played some teams.
and they brought it up. When they finally saw a team, they just couldn't do anything. And I think looking at this game as far as from a Patriots standpoint, um, you know, you have a Stephon Diggs. It's not like you don't have weapons. I mean, Ramon Stevenson is.
I have to be perfectly honest with you.
Mhm.
I that game was so boring and he was so anonymous that by the end of the game I forgot Stephon Diggs was on the Patriots. The only thing he did in that entire game was get in a fight with the Seattle sideline.
Well, let's talk about that real quick because I actually forgot about that. But why was that flag and that guy and that corner not thrown out of the game?
Should have been. So should have been.
But it happened right in front of the
Right in front of the
ref,
referee.
right in front of the referee. Didn't throw a flag. Like if you,
When this game started
mm,
and they were doing the coin toss, and whoever the lead referee was ready to do the coin toss, and Ferris goes, "They gave this to him." I knew we were in for a poorly refereed game.
and that was very like he threw a punch right in front of the ref and nothing happened. Now,
Yeah.
does it change the outcome of the game? Probably
No.
not.
No.
But like, good lord, like if anybody else throws that punch in a game, they're
Yeah.
throwing out and probably suspended. Like, and I don't know if there's going to be any repercussions coming out
I
next
doubt
year.
it because there was no flag.
That's
There was another play. I don't remember what the other play was where they didn't throw a flag, and people on our watch along kept waiting for replay assist to call down and go, "No, that wasn't a first down" or whatever it was. But because there was no flag thrown, they replay assist couldn't intervene because it wasn't a first down thing. Replay assist couldn't intervene, and so it just happened. Like it was really poorly officiated that game.
yeah. Again, disappointing weekend with just all around with the Super Bowl.
The commercials were so bad. They were so bad.
Like
There was literally
we're
look,
gonna talk more about the commercials than we are about the game.
look. I'm gonna say this. I was a teenage girl in the '90s. We listened to Backstreet Boys in the '90s. There were two commercials with Backstreet Boys songs, one of which actually had the Backstreet Boys in it. Why? One of which was a PowerPoint presentation trying to get you to buy crypto. Why? I the Mandalorian and Grogu one is so dumb. Like that movie comes out in May, I believe. Like you should be putting something other than that out. I didn't know there was a Minions movie, but they chose to spend their $8 million to have a little minion run up to the screen and say, "Go watch the trailer online."
Well, could have sent me a million.
I
Um,
mean,
yeah, it was just all around bad,
it was
bad
so
day.
bad, so
And with
bad.
this game, I mean Seattle, and I heard when I was at the watch party I was at, the owner of Seattle is selling the team.
There's rumors that Jody Allen is going to sell the Seahawks now.
Go out on top.
Those rumors came out a few weeks ago, I think, that she was prepared to put the team up for sale after the Super Bowl.
Go out on top then.
Yeah. I'm looking something up here about the flags in this game. I think there was like 4 or 6 flags total in this entire game. Like
What's
there
your
should
luck?
have been more. Yeah, 7 penalties in this entire game for a total of 50 yards.
And shout out to Jeremy Miller. How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a wonderful night. Yeah,
Oh yeah, hey Jeremy.
there was a lot going on in this game where you just look sideways and kind of just go, what is going on here? I mean, each quarterback threw a lot, but I think Drake May got those yards
At one
in the
point in
fourth.
time at the start of the fourth quarter, their stat lines were almost identical, except for the fact that Sam Darnold had thrown a touchdown. Drake May's stuff was all in like garbage time in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, JSN got hurt and was actually out of the game, and I really think they only let him get back in because of the Super Bowl. I think they absolutely pull him from the game if it was
If
a
that's
regular game.
if that's a regular season game and there's a game the next week, JSN doesn't come back.
Yeah,
But it's the Super Bowl. He came back. He played more. Whatever. He did nothing. Like all these players did like nothing.
yeah.
Like,
I think the only probably like
hi Bradney, what's up?
great play of the Super Bowl was the sack to interception, which they then turned around and said that wasn't a sack. Um, uh,
Yeah,
from
because he
Witherspoon.
he threw the ball and
Well,
it
he
got
got
intercepted
hit. Well, no,
as he got hit as he threw the ball.
yeah.
So that's not a sack.
I think he caused. I think him
I'm
going
just
for a sack.
telling you what their logic was, which we know they had very little of during that game.
Right. The kicker was Jason Myers was 5 for 5. Senna, I believe you said he
It's a
set
new Super Bowl record for most made field goals in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
which
I, and I really,
that record is crazy because it first got set in like 1965 or something, and then it got set one more time after that, and then it's been set each of the last 3 years now, or tied, set or tied each of the last 3 years. It's just crazy, and it tells you how bad the games have been.
yeah, it was just, I, again, Seattle's defense, you can say they're a good defense and they made the plays they need to, but like New England didn't even like for 3 quarters do anything. It didn't show up.
I
They didn't
was
look
I
prepared.
was watching the pregame a little bit, and they said that Mike Vrabel did everything he could to prepare his team for the conditions for the next day. So during their practice at the stadium, they practiced. Then he sent everyone to the locker room for 15 minutes, and he blared Bad Bunny music over the stadium PA. And then he had them come back out and finish the practice to like simulate the game, and it did not work. Brodney is correct about this. Every game where the Patriots get embarrassed is a great game. Sorry, Brandy, but sorry,
It
it's
was
true. But the game itself, if you're just a neutral watching that game, it's so boring.
It really was. Nothing really exciting happened. Even in the fourth quarter, when they did start moving the ball in garbage time, like it was just
Yeah,
like, okay.
like
I think I
like
think I think the only exciting thing where I was at a watch party was somebody hit 9-0 on their squares, which was
I don't
ridiculous.
even know how to play squares, so I wasn't playing anything. Snark was in the chat for the watch long saying, we have Super Bowl tickets?" Which I guess is some game they play in Canada where you get to pick the score at one point or whatever. I don't know, but when you're literally on a watch along of this game, I said this earlier, but it's true, and the debate at the end of the game is, does the kicker get MVP? It's not a good game. I'm sorry. It's just not. I didn't think either of the quarterbacks deserved MVP. I thought the only player in the game that deserved MVP for the Seahawks was Kenneth Walker, and I'm glad they gave it to him and didn't just do like a, oh, well, let's give it to Sam Darnold anyway kind of thing. We were like debating who would be the MVP if the Patriots somehow came back into that game, and Ferris said Christian Gonzalez, the
Yeah,
defensive back, because
we
he
did
was at
real
least
quick.
trying to make some plays. He didn't make a lot, but he came close to a couple interceptions and stuff. But man, that watching that game with Brandy was hard just because she's such a Patriots fan and she just looked miserable.
Well, then that now I'm happy because
I'm sure you're happy about that.
seeing Brandy miserable football, not in life,
Not in
football.
life,
You
football.
know, um,
I just it makes me even angrier that Bo Nix broke his ankle.
right? It really
It
does.
just makes me so angry that that happened because I think that we would have at least played better. I think we would have beaten the Patriots, even in that horrible weather that Broncos Patriots game was played in. I think we would have beaten the Patriots because Bo Nix would have been throwing the ball. I mean, Jarrett Stidham barely threw the ball until he threw the interception that sealed the game. And then I really do think that we could have stood a chance against Seattle with the way Sam Darnold played in that game and with our defense. But we'll never know
We'll never
because
know.
Bo Nix broke his ankle.
I will say that the fact that they called that touchdown back by Kenneth Walker had to be a call in from Vegas because they called a holding call, which was I've seen worse, and that kept it. And I would love to hear Caleb's thoughts on that, which kept it on the under because it was the over was 42 and a half.
Oh yeah, shout out to Justin who before this game started said bet the under. Just bet the under 42 and a half. These teams aren't scoring 42 and a half points.
Yeah, and ended up being 42 points exactly. Um, you looking toward next year, and obviously we don't know the situation with Bo Nix, broken ankle, things like that.
He
We
should
don't.
be fine for the start of next season.
What I'm saying, as far as just
Yeah.
playing the way you guys played this year, being the number one seed, um, and then Seattle being the number one seed on the other side, do you see Seattle being the number one seed again next year?
I don't know. This year was so weird on both conferences because teams that everybody thought was going to be really good just weren't. I mean, like the Ravens got off to that disastrous start, and
which was great.
the and I'm sure you enjoyed that a lot. And the Bills weren't losing to teams like the Bills lost to Atlanta at one point. I think, like there were just games that made no sense. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts. We thought Daniel Jones was an MVP candidate at one point. Like, um, I just don't know that next year is going to be as crazy weird. This season was just weird.
Uh, it was a weird season.
I do think that one of the best teams in the league did win the Super Bowl, though. It wasn't like a fluke team won the Super Bowl. The
Yeah, it's
Seattle
not.
deserved it,
It's not like the
but
Panthers won the Super
but
Bowl.
I agree with this with Brodney. I'm super happy for Darnold, but he won't do it again. Yeah, I don't think Sam Darnold will ever have a season like this one again. I don't.
Okay.
I think Drake May played a lot of teams that he should have beat, and then he played a really good team and couldn't get anything done.
I think he
Um,
played. I think he played. He played a team that had a hurt quarterback, and then he played a team that.
yeah, I remain firm in my belief that if Bo Nix isn't injured, the Broncos would have been in the Super Bowl. Would we have beaten Seattle? I don't know, but we would have given a better chance than the Patriots did.
Yeah, for sure, you would have gave a better chance.
I mean, the effort. It was just like there was no effort from those guys.
Yeah, for sure. Where the Super Bowl is in Los Angeles next year, right?
I have no idea.
I think so. It's either Vegas or Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles getting a stadium and everything has been the best thing for the Super Bowl because they're like, we could go to Vegas, Los Angeles, and
Yes, it's at
upper
SoFi.
California.
It's at SoFi
Yeah,
next year.
upper California. So we don't got to go anywhere East Coast wise or
They
anything
will
like that.
never have a cold weather Super Bowl again. I feel fairly certain, unless there's a dome. Also, Jeremy brings this up. I have faith in Mike McDonald's future to win another ring. He's arguably the best defensive coordinator right now and a top 5 head coach. Yeah, shout out to Mike McDonald, the first coach to ever win the Super Bowl while calling the defensive plays. I read that, and also he got robbed for coach of the year. I don't understand why they gave that to Mike Vrabel, and so he just went out and outcoached him basically in the Super Bowl.
Prove why he should have won it.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, next year Super Bowl is going to be in Los Angeles. I agree with you. I don't think that this next season coming up is going to be as crazy as we had it as this year. Um, I think that there's some teams obviously are going to make some moves. There's some teams that are going to obviously recover from injury and things like that. Um, I just hope it's not the Chiefs because uh,
I heard someone say that Patrick Mahomes should be back for the start of next season, and I was like, "Have you ever like heard of an athlete tearing their ACL before? That's usually at least a year."
yeah,
So
I think it'll be too soon, but we'll see.
I think it'll be too soon. And even if it is, he's not going to be able to play the same way immediately.
Yeah, real quick, I know, and then we'll call this to two early predictions. Give me who you think your two Super Bowl favorite teams will be from each conference.
I have to say my Broncos if Bo Nix is healthy. And I can't choose between the Rams and Seahawks. Probably Seahawks.
Rams. I mean, Matt Stafford's retiring, so
Brodney, of course, is saying Panthers. Is Matthew Stafford retiring? Is that
I
what you
think
just said?
yeah,
Is that I haven't heard that.
I think I saw it the other day that he is officially retiring because there's like a big old debate right now between him and Big Ben on.
Mm, I don't think so.
You don't think of the? No, they said he was retiring.
I don't see anything that says he's announced that he's retiring.
I thought I saw something. Okay, maybe I was wrong.
I think that the Super Bowl made it very clear that he was the absolute MVP. They should not have given that to Drake May, and I'm glad they didn't. Brodney says I think he said he's coming back.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, then if he comes back, I actually have the Rams as
I would say the Rams then, yeah, if he's coming back.
I have the Rams, and I would have to go AFC.
Hmm.
I would say the Broncos. I would say the Broncos. Unless
I don't know who else in. I mean, if Jesse Minter comes in and gets the Ravens act together, maybe the Ravens can make a run for it. If Mike McCarthy gets the Steel, I know you're going to say no to that. If Mike McCarthy gets the Steelers act together and you guys get some wide receivers, maybe.
yeah,
But
no. I said it last year. I said the Ravens, the injury bug didn't hit them, and then it hit them this year. And
mhm.
even before they got injured, they were like 1-4 or something like that. So I don't believe in the Ravens. Yeah, I would say the
That was under
Broncos are right.
Harbaugh, though. I'm really curious to see the Ravens under a new head coach.
I mean, Harbaugh's
Really
about to
am.
take the Giants to like 12-5,
No,
and
he's
then
not. Oh no,
yeah,
he is
with
not.
with with the CTE twins,
I don't know what that means, and no, he's not.
Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo.
Why did they call them this? I don't know. Don't answer that. Um, that's not happening. I don't think.
Watch, I bet you 12-5 lunch. I bet you
Nah,
lunch.
nah.
Okay,
They have a hard schedule according to Ferris, so nah.
okay, I bet you lunch then. twelve
You
and five
bet me Korean barbecue next time I'm in California.
Korean barbecue. We're
Okay.
betting. Everybody's here because idiots.
I mean, there's idiots, and then CTE seems just like a whole nother thing. Jeremy is saying for NFC, depending on how the Bears grow after this, Packers and Niners, if they can stay healthy.
Packers, yes, they unfortunately they lost their tight end, and I think he's coming back from also ACLs, so
Yeah.
that might be tough. And then they're also I did because I was just watching a thing on Miles Garrett and the one that got traded from Dallas to the
Mm,
Packers. I was gonna
Micah
say
Parsons.
Minka, Michael
Micah
Parsons.
Parsons.
He tore his ACL as well, right?
Micah Parsons tore his ACL, yeah, so
So
he
we'll
won't be
see.
back for a while because
Yeah,
that was at the end of the year. He did that against Denver, so that'll be a while. And
yeah.
then I don't know. There were a lot of ACL injuries in the thing. Jeremy also saying AFC, I think it's Broncos, Bills, and Ravens. Maybe the Texans if CJ finds his confidence. I don't think the Texans are doing anything like that. But Bills, I
I
gotta
don't
see
even
the.
think
I gotta.
I
I
don't
don't know
even
what
think
to
the
make
Bills.
of the Bills.
Yeah,
This is a weird Bills coaching staff. I mean, they like hired two Broncos staffers to be their OC and DC, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's going to work out the way you think it will.
yeah. So we'll definitely and we'll talk about offseason moves. There's already been some big offseason moves. I believe Cowboys have already, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, have already franchise tag Pickens. So there goes Jose from LBHT's top wide receiver out the door. So they ain't getting him. But I may be wrong. I was just wrong about Matt Stafford retiring. Uh,
Let's see.
so but it's gonna be a very interesting off season because, like you said, this year was weird, and then also too just teams that normally are been at the top weren't this year,
Yeah, so the
and
report is that the Cowboys are expected to place the franchise tag on
you know,
George Pickens, not that they
they
have.
have. But if they're expected,
I
then
think the league season has to end before they can do that, and I don't know when that is.
well, we'll find out. We will find out. Before I move on from the Super Bowl, anything else you want to say about the Super Bowl and anything?
If you paid $8 million for a 30-second spot during this Super Bowl, and that is what you came up with for $8 million, not that you spent $8 million on your commercials. Yeah, Bradney says they can't until the 17th. Thank you. Not that they spent $8 million on the commercials, but they paid on top of what they spent on the commercials $8 million to air the commercials and think of better ways to use your money is all I'm saying. None of the commercials were entertaining except maybe that Instacart one with Benson Boone and Ben Stiller where he did the dive off the top of the set and into the drum kit. But yeah, just none of them were entertaining. None of the
Yeah,
trailers were entertaining. Nothing about that game and its broadcast was entertaining. Except, like I said, the halftime show was fine.
And the fact that we didn't get a damn Spider-Man or Doomsday trailer really makes me angry.
See, Jeremy is saying he enjoyed the Cliff Booth teaser out of the movie stuff. I never watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so I didn't care about that. So I didn't watch it. I was trying to avoid watching the trailers because we were going to do the reactions to them for the our sister channel, the post credits, and then there was nothing,
Which is why we haven't done them.
which is why we haven't done
Why
them.
we haven't even been in a hurry to do them right now.
There was a Olympics Masters of the Universe one that we're going to do maybe later tonight or tomorrow, but yeah, we haven't done any of those trailers because we don't care about any of them.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Mandalorian and Grogu one, I would have happily done a Mandalorian and Grogu one, but it's just them in a wagon being pulled by tauntauns. That's all it is. Jeremy, if they're waiting for Comic Con on a Spider Man trailer, they are very stupid because that movie comes out in July.
Yeah, and Comic Con is when.
July.
Oh well, yeah, they have.
I think the Doomsday trailer is coming out at CinemaCon, which is the first week of April. I They gotta release the Spider Man trailer before that. There's been no trailers for Spider Man, just the leaked one. So
And we don't promote leaked trailers around
we do
here.
not promote leaked trailers around here.
But that is on our sister channel. Go
The
check
post
out all
credits,
that.
yeah.
The post credit.
I'm sorry, there's nothing to talk about the rest of the game
Super
because it
Bowl
was
so
so boring.
bad, right? All right. Well, we
It was very nice to see a lot of people going, that was Lady Gaga about the halftime show though.
her eyebrows always bug me.
Like so many people just did not know that was her because
Yeah.
she always looks different. And I was like, did none of you see A Star Is Born? She
Well,
looked
it's
like
not.
she did in that.
No, I love a Star Is Born. But her eyebrows every time she dyes them bugs or shaves them off. It bugs
Yeah.
the hell out of me.
And shout out to the couple who wrote to Bad Bunny saying inviting him to their wedding and him instead going, I have an idea, and him inviting them to get married in the middle of his Super Bowl
That
performance.
was so the one couple got married and the other couple was an actual engagement.
Yeah, I think.
So yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to them because your wedding was part of a Super Bowl halftime show. You had a lot of people there.
A lot of people. All right.
No, there was a lot of people in that the background of that performance, like Pedro Pascal and Jessica Alba and Cardi B
People
and
are going to
Carol G, and like, why
there
weren't they
was
incorporated?
there was also somebody that people are saying they didn't want there. Um, some of that
I don't
is
know who that was.
I'll look it up real quick.
Well, we don't need to talk about it, but
No, we don't need to talk. I forgot who it was, but there is somebody in because there was a picture of her in that group dancing where it was like Cardi B and Jessica, and people are mad at Jessica Alba because she didn't dance, because of Honey and how she danced in Honey. I don't know. People just complain about
people are
everything.
stupid and complaining about everything. That's just what it
Everything.
is. And I know that we've just spent the majority of the 33 minutes we've been on the air complaining about the
On the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
But like, we're doing it for a place of like entertainment. Some people are doing it from a place of seriousness, and those are the people that need to be like, what are you talking about? I had someone question if I am proud to be an American because I watched an American perform the Super Bowl halftime show. So those people just need to chill. That's all I'll say.
Exactly. Well, we're going to talk about the Steelers right now. Obviously, big news. We didn't really have a lot going on, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But we did have a big coaching change. Mike Tomlin stepped down from the team, and
We did
Mike.
the stream about the Mike Tomlin news. If you
Yes,
didn't catch Suge's immediate reaction to the Mike Tomlin news,
yes, and then his replacement was hired, being Mike McCarthy, who has now coached three of the biggest franchises in the NFL, from Packers, Cowboys, Steelers.
he's from
And
Pittsburgh, right?
he is from Pittsburgh. There was some weird people being, and we're just talking about the whole thing right now with people complaining about the weirdest stuff. He did his press conference, and say what you want. If you don't like Mark McCarthy, that's fine. If you thought it was a bad hire, cool. Overrated coach, cool, whatever. He is from Pittsburgh. He grew up a Steelers fan, so he was emotional. and people are, oh, it's fake. Oh my God, why are you crying?
Anytime someone shows emotion about something, people are like, "Oh, it's fake."
No, there were some good memes that came out of it. There's one where he, when he does this, he goes, "All right, I used it. I was like, that's how I act when Korean barbecue comes out." But like, come on, like the dude is genuinely happy. He lives in Pittsburgh. He's like, my parents live right there. You can see the state. Like, so let the guy, be, if you want to call it cheesy about being hired by the team that he grew up watching, let him do it. Like, who cares? Like, people are so like they're always trying to, what is it, yuck somebody else's yum. Like,
Mhm.
why are you being such a downer? Okay, you don't like the guy, cool, but the guy got the job that the team he watched growing up. Let the guy live. Let him be happy. If he's gonna cry about it and be emotional, happy, let him cry about it. Who cares? Why does it bother you? And so he did his press conference. He's from Pittsburgh, and he started hiring, bringing along his staff. There were some people that were retained, but I'll go over the offensive side. And I'm horrible with names, so just correct me if I'm wrong. So he hired, for offensive coordinator, Brian Angelicino,
And Jelly Chio
Jenny Chio, quarterbacks coach Tom Arth, running
was
back
retained.
was retained, running backs coach, Raymond or Roman Chin Young, wide receivers
Mhm.
coach Adam Henry. We had a tight ends coach, but apparently that guy decided to stay with the Saints, so that's actually an open position. James Kappen is the offensive line coach. Jari Evans, assistant offensive line coach. Senior offensive uh, assistant Frank Singetti Jr. and offensive quality control Eric Simonelli. Am I right? Am I
You
wrong?
you did pretty good on those, yeah.
Okay, appreciate it.
Um, Jeremy says they were gonna be critical of him no matter what because his last coaching stints weren't successful, and,
But
Rodney says, "That's a
how?
great story, it's just gonna end badly for him."
But how is it, Jeremy? You're a Dallas fan. Last year, Dak Prescott got hurt, and they went 8-9. The 3 years prior to that, he went 12-5. So where was he not successful? If you're talking
He
about he didn't
didn't
win a
win
Super,
anything.
if he didn't win, well, he won a playoff game, which Mike Tomlin hasn't done since
Yeah, but
2016,
I think they're talking about he didn't win an
a Super
NFC
Bowl. But
championship,
yeah,
he didn't make a Super Bowl, he didn't win a Super Bowl, like.
okay, but so is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin hasn't done that. Mike
Right, so
Tomlin,
I think a lot of people's points is that this is just kinda like hiring a guy who's in the same sort of place as, Mike Tomlin was, instead of hiring someone who
hate you, Bronny.
could be better. Um, yes, and them both being on shows with me while they're pronouncing those words is, frustrating for me, I will
But
say.
here's the thing, though. So a lot of people, and I'll do the defensive staff. But here's the thing, though. We've
Mhm.
only had three coaches.
Right,
Okay, all of them were defensive minded coaches. This is the first offensive minded coaches that we hire. Now a lot of people are like, "Well, we want a young coach." Okay,
right.
cool. So what happens if that young coach comes in and you finish under 500 now?
Mhm.
It's not going to make a difference. Okay, Mike McCarthy, us hiring Mike McCarthy, it's either, and I was talking to Bronny about this a couple weeks ago. It's either going to go two ways. He's either going to get you to the playoffs, 12-5, 11-6, whatever, get you to the playoffs, might win a round, or you don't win a round, but you're still in the playoffs and you had a successful season, or you finish under 500 and you get a top draft pick, which is what every Steeler fan is complaining about, of why they didn't want Tomlin anymore, is because he kept us
He
in
was
their,
right in the middle.
yeah, he was in the middle and kept us mediocre. So either this new coach is either going to take us over that, or the team's going to be bad enough where they get a top pick. So
Yeah.
you get what you want. I'm not understanding why people complain. Now people want to say, well, they don't like the hire. Okay, fine, that's understandable. Let's see what he does. But
I
like,
I I just think that from my perspective, having Mike McCarthy never having coached one of my teams, um, he just I keep thinking about that stat that Jose and uh brought up on LBHT, which is if you look at his coaching record and John Harbaugh's coaching record, they're basically the same coach.
Mm.
And I don't see how that gets you guys out of this like rut that you're in of where you have been the last several years with Tomlin.
Well, I'm gonna reply to Jeremy's comment in a second. Where it gets us out of the rut, it's a new voice.
New voice, yeah.
It's new. It's new. It's something new
Mhm.
as far as system and everything like that. A lot of complaints about Tomlin was he kept doing the same thing. There are interviews with players who have
Mhm.
played against the Steelers that literally said when we played them in the playoffs regular season, we knew exactly what they were going to do because they did the same thing, and I would have a game where I go off for 150 yards against them because I
Yeah.
knew what they were going to do.
Hi Jay.
So it may not be, it may be the same thing as far as
Results. But the
results.
but the voice, the methods, all of that will be different.
It changes,
So
yes.
it could change. You're right about that, but I don't
And
know.
and Jeremy saying our playoff wood was against an 89 Bucks team on the road, had no excuses to not win the game, but I don't think he's going to get you to a Super Bowl. Okay, that's fine, but here's the thing: Mike Tomlin lost to Tim Tebow, Blake Bortles, and David Garrard with a top defense and a really good QB in Big Ben with some good offense. Because the he lost to Blake Bortles, when you had Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
So
I think Bradney has a point here that's interesting. Your problem is you're not in a coaching rut, you're in a GM rut. If your GM can't find a quarterback, it doesn't matter who you hire, which is true. You guys have had a quarterback problem for a while.
well, we had a the reason we've had a quarterback problem, and I have said this a million times. The Steelers didn't know what they were going to do after Big Ben. First off, they let Big Ben have too much power and dictate uh, drafting a QB. When they drafted Mason Rudolph, they could have drafted. They had a chance at Lamar Jackson. They had a chance at Patrick Mahomes. Now, do they know these are the guys that were going to take over the league? No, but they had opportunities to draft capable up and coming QBs, and
And
Big
they
Ben didn't
didn't.
want. They didn't because
Yeah.
Big Ben told them, "Oh no, we need people that can help me now." Is what, and then Big Ben also taking contracts that prevented them to try to get another QB in there. So I think they've always had that issue. Now we have Will Howard. I don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, but we have Will Howard. Maybe he's the answer, maybe he's not. But you put him in there, and you see he's young. He's a young quarterback. See what he can do. If he doesn't perform, okay, cool. You either go get a free agent quarterback, or you're bad enough that you can draft Archie Manning or whoever comes out. If he's good enough, then you found a QB that you can try to either build around, or which, or this team is already kind of built. You add the pieces to get them uh, a little bit more over the top. And if he is the QB, then you're in a great position. You got to find a number two wide receiver. You need to find a running back that's a full time running back, and not these guys that can only run the ball so many times without getting injured, or even being able to be a presence in the running back. Because as much as I love Kenneth Gainwell and Warren, they could not run the ball consistently, and that was one of our big issues. We couldn't run the ball, so we depended on Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to a DK Metcalf and a bunch of number three, number four. I mean, our best second wide receiver was Adam Thielen, who came in after he didn't want to be in Minnesota anymore.
Yeah.
So that needs to change. That needs to be a problem. That needs to change.
Yeah.
You know.
Brodney says, "How dare you put Garrard in the same sentence as Bortles and Tebow?"
Well, it's
Uh,
true.
Jay says David Garrard is respected, but Bortles and Tebow, yeah. Jay also says Will Howard better be the answer because he drafted him in Dynasty. Brodney says, "I have bad news for you, Jay." And Jeremy says, "If Aaron retires before the season, you can go after Malik Willis or maybe find someone in the draft."
We're not going after McWillis. We're going to stick with Howard, and see if he can win the job, and see if he can go out there. I don't think we're going to bring in a free, because we did that already. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Mike McCarthy and Mike Tomlin. Mike
Who was
Tomlin,
Aaron's backup?
Mason Rudolph and Will Howard this year. But last year we had Kenny Pickett. We brought in Trubisky. That was a
See,
waste.
these are the
And
names
then
that you're
oh
talking about here are
sorry
so
prior years, the year before it was
middling.
it was
Like
it was it was Kenny Pickett, Trubisky. Then we had your favorite person, Russell Wilson.
my
Uh,
favorite person.
yeah, your
Wow.
favorite person. Your favorite person. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. So let's not do that again.
Yeah, if you stick with Will Howard or wait for Aaron, then that just shows again you have a GM problem. I agree
No,
with
but we
Rodney.
drafted we drafted Will Howard.
So
We
what?
drafted him.
We've seen teams give up on quarterbacks that they
He hasn't
drafted
done,
real quick.
but that's the thing. He hasn't even got to play yet.
So Minnesota almost moved on from JJ McCarthy, and they should have.
Well, that's JJ McCarthy. Like he played for Michigan. Played for he
I don't
played for
even know who Will Howard is.
he won the national championship with Ohio State.
And how good have Ohio State quarterbacks been in the league in recent years, Suge?
I mean, Justin Fields been comparable. I don't know.
No.
Okay, where's Ferris at? He'll tell me who the last great Ohio State quarterback was. I don't know because I don't watch Ohio State.
I don't know either, but like you see all of those things and it's just like you guys have a problem drafting quarterbacks. You have a problem signing quarterbacks. Your answer this
We
past season
hold on, hold
was
on, hold on.
41.
We have a problem drafting quarterback. We've only drafted four since Big Ben. We've drafted Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph.
And which
Um,
one of those is your starting quarterback, Suge?
they haven't worked out because they were trash.
Exactly.
I believe in Will Howard. I think Will Howard, and a lot of people do. A lot of people believe in Will Howard.
Jeremy is willing to give Will Howard a chance, but he's in a similar position as JJ. He coasted off of a very good team and did enough to win the Natty. Jay saying Broncos drafted Paxton Lynch, Tim Tebow, and I believe Brock Osweiler, but finally got it right with Bo. That is very true. We went through this. They drafted a bunch of shit quarterbacks because John Elway seems to think he knows what makes a good quarterback, and he doesn't. And then there you go. Jeremy saying CJ was the last good Ohio State
There you go.
quarterback.
Look,
What is CJ won? What is
well,
CJ won?
wait,
Jeremy.
he beat us in the playoffs.
That was not CJ. CJ did everything he could to give away that game against you in the playoffs.
I wish he would have done more.
Jay says the point is you keep trying. Absolutely. You keep trying, but I'm just saying you also have to know when to cut your losses and go again. So
I mean, but again, here's the thing: when have we had the opportunity to be a top drafting team? We haven't.
we
That's
weren't.
that's when was Bo Nix
We
drafted?
Bo Nix was drafted because we drafted so many shit quarterbacks before him trying to find
No,
Peyton
no,
Manning's replacement. He
but
was
when did
like 12th or 13th.
we haven't even been we haven't been in that position. We've
Right,
been
I
in
understand
the
that because you
20s.
guys keep getting guys in like Trubisky, like Aaron Rodgers that are just enough to get you to that area where you don't have
And
that draft pick.
and who was the coach of the team doing that?
Yes,
Mike
I understand
Tomlin.
that, but Mike
So this is
McCarthy is going in there. He has what Mason Rudolph and Will Howard on his roster, and he's like, "This isn't good enough. They've got to
and
do
that,
something for
so
him."
but that's the point. That's
But that's
fine.
Brodney's point. That's a GM problem.
No, that's not. But you let Will Howard go out there, and if he goes 2-15, we're a top picking team that can get a franchise quarterback.
And then you'll draft a wide receiver because that's what you guys do.
We don't draft wide receivers. We
You've
draft
drafted plenty
linebackers.
of wide receivers.
We draft
You'll draft
linebackers.
someone in defense. You'll draft an offensive lineman. You'll draft
No,
someone you will not draft a
you
quarterback.
were thinking of the Ravens. We don't do
No,
that. You're thinking of the Ravens, okay? And when we draft a wide receiver, they're actually good because the Ravens can't draft worth a
you
crap.
guys have not drafted a good wide receiver since when? George Pickens
George
doesn't count because he's not on your team anymore.
George, but
Name
he
a
was
wide receiver on your team right now that you drafted that's good.
George Pickens was the last wide receiver.
Wide receiver on your
That
team
was
right now that
last
you
year.
drafted that's good. Right now.
Pat Freiermuth.
He's not a wide receiver.
He's kind of like a wide receiver.
He's a tight end.
Catches the
Wide
ball.
receiver. Wide receiver.
Okay,
right now that you drafted. No, not the last one. Not the last one that you drafted. A wide receiver on your roster right now that you drafted that's good.
All the wide receivers haven't played. They've been injured. Roman Wilson has been injured. Who's the other one? I can't think of.
You're naming people I've never heard of.
Yes, they're injured. They haven't played this year. They played a little bit this year and they got hurt. Roman Wilson, and I forgot the other the guy's name. He's from Michigan.
I don't
Um,
know who CA3 is. I've barely heard of Chase Claypool, and Juju is not on the team anymore, so he doesn't count.
CA3 is Calvin Austin the third.
Is he on your team?
Yes,
Jay
he was
says he's
hurt.
not good.
He was hurt this year.
And Jay says he's not good. Chase,
Well,
Juju,
Jay
CA3, not good.
Jay is a Panthers fan.
Wilson is a
So
bust, according to Jay.
Wilson has it, but he's been hurt.
How many seasons
But
has he been in the league?
since last year, he again, Adelia, you're saying this year. Okay, this year, yes, we haven't had a good wide receiver. Last year was
I'm
George
not
Pickens.
talking. I'm not talking about just this past season, Shook.
Okay, so the last good wide receiver was George Pickens, which
But
was
I
last
said
year.
on your roster right now. He's not on your roster right now.
I know, but any of the wide receivers on our roster right now the wide receivers haven't played. The guys that we drafted have all been hurt. Outside of Calvin Austin, who was hurt most of the year this year, Roman Wilson, who's been hurt most of the year this year. The other guy, I forgot his freaking name. I can't even think of it right
You
now.
can't even think of his name.
Yeah,
And
because
you're
he
telling
hasn't
me he's
played.
good?
No, I'm saying he got hurt. We haven't seen if he's good.
My point is, you guys used to draft a really good wide receiver in like every draft, and
No,
I have not heard of half of these.
No. I will not
Yes.
let you do that.
Yes.
We drafted wide receivers that nobody heard of, and
That
then they
turned out to be
pretty
good.
good. Yes, so we've always done that.
I'm
Who is
not
it?
saying you have
Scotty
to have
Miller.
drafted a name that I've heard of. That's
Scotty
another
Miller.
name I've never heard of.
Scotty Miller
So
is the guy. But you're asking me who we drafted. Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, and Calvin Austin. Those are the last three wide receivers that we drafted outside of George Pickens that in the last 2 years. The three of them, all three of those guys have been hurt. George Pickens was the last one. Before that, there was Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster.
ignoring George Pickens. Ignoring him because he's not on your team, which is what I keep saying. And any of these guys that got hurt this year don't count because that's all you keep answering me. What is the last one you've drafted that's still on your team that's good?
Outside of last year, we haven't drafted anybody, Adelia. That's what I'm trying to
And
tell you.
that's a problem. That's also a GM
For
problem.
1 year? From 1 year, you're going to say, oh, that's a problem for the last 10 years? No.
Then
It's
name
1
one,
year.
Suge.
It's
You
1
can't.
year.
You
It's
literally
one.
cannot name one.
This is the first year we haven't drafted a decent wide receiver. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so
okay, fine. Cool. George Pickens. Who was the one before him?
Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool.
Brodney says y'all didn't draft Miller.
Yeah, we did. We drafted Miller.
Jeremy says Roman Wilson is not a good comparison for this.
We drafted Miller. Scotty Miller, we drafted him.
Brodney says Wilson played 13 fans, I think he means games this year, and had under 200 yards. Brodney also says you could have drafted Jackson Dart or Tyler Shook this year. Your GM is trash.
Jackson Dart. Why would we draft Jackson Dart when we had Aaron Rodgers?
Hi, Hendo. Thanks for joining us. No, you didn't. What's his name again? Scotty Miller?
No, not Scotty Miller.
Yeah, Scotty Wilson. Miller, wide receiver. He's talking about Miller. Scotty Miller was selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 6th round of the 2019 NFL Draft. So you didn't draft him.
So we didn't draft Scotty, but he's been hurt the whole time, so that doesn't matter.
He's been hurt for 6 years?
He wasn't with us for 6 years. He's only been with us for a little bit. I think he's only been with us.
Roman Wilson got drafted 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's only been with us for two years. Scotty Miller.
Yeah. Okay. Still.
We didn't even draft him. So, but Roman Wilson that was the last wide receiver I remember drafting.
Let's see here. Roman Wilson last year, 2024, played 1 game for you guys. Did not have a target. Roman Wilson this year played 12 games for you guys. Started 4 of them. 21 targets, 12 receptions, 166 yards.
Roman Wilson we drafted. That was a wide receiver.
My point is,
we didn't draft a wide receiver in 2023. George Pickens was in 2022. We didn't draft a wide receiver in 2021.
Jay says so Mekhi Lemon, Omar Cooper, or Chris Bell needs to be on the Steelers. I don't know who these people are.
Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. So we actually haven't in the last 1, 2, Three of the seasons since 22, we haven't drafted a wide receiver. We've only
And that's a problem.
is it though?
That's why you
Because
have no wide receivers that are good now. That's why you had to trade for DK. That's why none of the other ones stack up.
okay, cool, that's fine. Like,
Well, like
well,
who? Forget the fact that you have no quarterback. Who is the quarterback that comes in going to throw to? He can't throw to DK every time.
I know that. That's why I said we need to get a second wide receiver. I've said that.
Right. So my point is that's a problem they could have taken care of a while back. What were they
How
drafting?
how how are they going to take care of it? Because there was because you do remember the Steelers were trying to trade for the for what's his name, Brandon Ayuk. So they were trying to fix that problem.
Well, no
And
one
then
should trade for Brandon Ayuk.
and
Let's
then
make that very clear.
Brandon Ayuk went to the 49ers and then he shit the bed. So they were trying to fix that problem at one point. And they thought they were. I will say that the GM made a bad decision trading Pickens, but he didn't want to be there. There's nothing you can do when a player doesn't want to play
No, I
on the
agree with
team.
that. That's why I said don't count Pickens towards this argument. He didn't want to be there. You got rid of him.
Yeah, but he was the last great wide receiver that we drafted outside
Is he a
of.
great wide receiver?
I mean, I think he led the league in yards this year, or no, JSN did. I think he was like second or third, and he played with Dak, who was horrible. They weren't a good team,
George Pickens this year played in 17 games, had 93 receptions for 1,429 yards.
and that was with Dak Prescott. If he had any kind of
Because they had no defense and he had to throw all the time.
if we had
And they
any kind
also
of
have no other wide receivers.
no, they had CD Lamb.
Who got injured, didn't he?
They still had a second wide receiver. We didn't even have that.
Yeah. So when CD went down, he became wide receiver number 1. I'm not saying Dak's not good. Dak is really good. But
Dak is garbage. Garbage. Okay. So going back to the Mike
anyways,
McCarthy,
moving on.
yeah, going back to Mike McCarthy thing. It either, like I said, it's either going to go two ways. It's either going to go, they're going to be a top 5 draft pick team, or they're going to be in the playoffs. If they add a second wide receiver, a running back, and get the defense kind of fixed, and that's another thing. Uh, they brought in Patrick Graham. A lot of people are like, why are you bringing this guy? He was in the middle of the pack defense. He had a Raiders defense that was 14th in the league overall defense. The Steelers were 29th, and the only
Mm-hmm.
good player that he had was Max Crosby. So if we have pretty good players out there now, everyone keeps saying, because Ferris keeps telling me this, oh, your defense is old. It's 2 players. It's TJ Watt and Cam
Cam
Hayward.
Hayward.
Okay, I don't think Cam Hayward's going to be playing as much. I think what's his name, Derek Harmon is going to be taking over that. T.J. Watt can still be an impact player, but you have Alex Highsmith, you have Jack Sawyer, you have Nick Herbert, who have played well this year. They're probably going to be taking over more snaps than T.J. Watt. So you still have those young guys playing behind him. Kelly Boo, Kenny Erasure. Who's Kelly?
Is that guy that Coach is always talking about from Connecticut? Or Reg? Reg is always talking about from Connecticut.
I
Yeah.
have no idea. Maybe. But I think that Patrick Graham, who had the Raiders at 14th overall defense, you bring him in. You have JPJ Jr. You have all these young pieces. You need to try to find if you're going to stay with Patrick Queen, that's fine. Maybe this system will work better for him, or you find a middle linebacker. That defense is going to be 10 times better than what it was. And you still have Jalen Ramsey. You still have these corners. So I think we can either be, and if not, and the wheels fall off on that defense, then the wheels fall off, and now it's time to move on from TJ Watt and all these guys. So it's either going to go one or two ways. It's like I said, really bad, really good, or really bad, or in the middle, like we have been, which is okay. And then next year you figure out the quarterback situation if Will Howard isn't the guy, or you bring Aaron Rodgers back and he doesn't do anything, he looks like trash, whatever it is.
I would
Well,
not bring Aaron Rodgers
I
back.
I don't want to bring Aaron Rodgers back. I would rather go with Will Howard, see if he can prove himself, and move forward. I don't know what they're going to do. We know that Mark McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers have a relationship. There's been whispers that Aaron might be coming back. I don't know. We have to wait for whenever he makes his decision. And
Yeah.
when he makes it, that's when we'll know. Which kind of sucks because it kind of keeps us, in a weird situation. I got to see what we're going to do for this draft. Are we going to draft a wide receiver? Are we going to draft
Yeah.
where are we going? I don't know. We'll see when we hear more from Mike McCarthy. We'll find out. Um, but I like what they did defensively as far as coaching staff because I think this is again it's going to fix. It's going to be a new voice in there. I think we're moving away from Arthur Smith. I'm happy as hell about that, and we're
Mm-hmm.
moving away for
Terrell Austin.
Terrell Austin, which I'm super happy about because I think the scheme was just horrible.
Bradney says Malik Willis or tanking this season is the answer for y'all at quarterback.
We're not going with Malik Willis. We had a chance to draft him. He does not look good. He did not look good. Why would you bring him in? It'd be like just bringing in another Mitch Trubisky or a Kenny Pickett uh, or Mason Rudolph. Like I'd rather just stick with Will Howard, see what he can do, and then if he doesn't play well, you go draft a quarterback because you're probably going to be a top draft pick. He did not
Bradney
look
says he's
great.
looked great in Green Bay. What are you
No,
talking
he
about?
looked horrible. He looked horrible. What are you talking about? He looked great. He looked great. Toward the end of the season, when they were playing nobodies and everybody was already getting ready for the playoffs, sure, he looked fine. He didn't. He didn't look good at all. I would not go with Malik Willis. That's why they didn't draft him. He looked horrible in Tennessee. He didn't look great in Green Bay. Why would you? That's like bringing in Mick Trubisky again. I'm good.
Okay. Defensive coaches. Do you want to go through them? We're an
I
hour
mean,
into the show and we've
yeah, I
covered
know.
two topics.
Yeah, Patrick Graham. I mean, the big one is Pecco, who used to play for Cincinnati. He's going to be the defensive line coach. I
I
love
thought
that.
I remembered that name.
Yes, biggest mistake in Steelers history, Rodney. Thank you for freaking reminding me. Um,
Harris says he looked good in Green Bay.
he did not look good in Green Bay. I
I
don't
don't
know
know. I didn't
what
see
you
him.
guys are watching.
I wouldn't know if a player looked good or not. So,
Um,
anyways,
um, yeah. So
defensive coaches.
yeah, Patrick Graham, Petco, Scott Curley is retained. CJ Ayu, Sean Howell, Joe Witt Jr., Jason Simmons, Pat Riley. Um, I like what we did here. And then special teams, Danny Crossman. We got rid of uh, a whole 6 touchdowns. Okay. He didn't have 6 touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns. Or you're saying total? Because
Let's just move on.
2025, he had 422 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Defensive coaches, and before we're here until midnight, please.
No 2 hour show.
No.
Uh, well, those are all just defensive coaches. The special team, Darius Swinton, the second, and Danny Crossman are special teams coaches. I like what we did on defense as far as coaching staff. It's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be nice to get a different perspective in that defensive room with the players we have right now. There was a slip by James Harrison that maybe we've already cut Patrick Queen, but I don't know for sure. But if not, then we're just really looking for maybe another middle linebacker, another corner, because JPJ did well, but that second corner, we need to find somebody to help him. Um, so I want to see what they do um, with this defense, and I think it's going to breathe life into this defense. Where I think Terrell Austin, because there was a lot of things said uh, about this defense through the media from players on this offense. We had Darius Slay in the middle of the year want to be traded or uh, part ways with the Steelers, so that's very telling. So we'll see what happens as far as that. But I like what we did with the coaching staff. Now it's about the draft, free agents, see where we go from there. If we can bring in a secondary receiver through free agency, that'd be great. If we can find somebody in the draft, that would be great. Um, so we got to see what kind of direction to go on, where Mike McCarthy wants to go. Like I said, all I've been hearing is they like Will Howard, and I think they're going to give him an opportunity to try to win the job in camp. I think he'll definitely beat out Mason Rudolph for sure. I don't think Mason Rudolph is going to. I think he'll be a backup if Aaron doesn't come into camp. If Aaron doesn't come back, which I like you said, I don't really want him to. If he does, he does. But he looked okay in parts of this year, but that offense just was not good. And I think that Arthur Smith's offense just does not work well in with this team. And so I'm glad he went to Ohio State, I believe, or yeah, Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm over that. All right, let us move on to. You want to talk Six Nations?
Yeah, we can talk Six Nations. Broncos haven't done much, so we'll talk
Yeah,
Six
and
Nations.
we are going to talk off season stuff. Like I said, once the show is moving to every 2 weeks, so we will talk some off season football throughout the year. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll do some cool stuff right with that. But we got a new segment on the show, Adelia. What is that segment called?
That was supposed to have music. I don't know why there wasn't music. Um no. No, no, no. What just happened there?
No idea. I'm covering your face. I'm on stage.
That was weird. Um the Six Nations is this big rugby tournament with England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, France, and Italy. It's every February and March. It started this past weekend. Actually, started on Thursday because it would have started on Friday, but it was the Olympics opening ceremony, so they did the start of it on Thursday. We watched a little. I watched that game. You watched a little bit of that game with me. France versus Ireland, the best, supposed to be the best game of the weekend, and it was not. France dominated Ireland 36-14 on Thursday. Louis Bielbiari with 2 tries. The French performance in the first half was so absurdly good that it was like they were on 3 levels above Ireland, which is crazy because Ireland's one of the best teams in the world. Ireland came back a little in the second half, but to no avail. Um, Next up for France, they go to Wales. That should be fairly easy for them. We'll talk about Wales in a minute. Next up for Ireland, they are at home in Dublin to Italy. That should also be fairly easy for them, but maybe a little bit tougher than we previously thought. If you thought the French dominated, England beat Wales 48-7 on Saturday.
Mm.
Henry Arundel started for England for the first time in 2 years and had a first half hat trick. That's 3 tries. That was in the first half. That's crazy. England were incredible. There's really not much else to say about them. Wales are a disaster and have been for a while. Ferris and I tried to do the scrum down as a show for a little bit a couple years ago, and we talked back then about how Wales were a disaster. Their golden generation have almost all retired, and the next generation is just not living up to it. Um, they won the Grand Slam, which is winning all their games in those Six Nations in 2019. They won their last Six Nations title in 2021. But they're now looking at their third consecutive wooden spoon, which means finishing dead last. Uh, Next up for England, they go to Scotland and face Scotland at Murrayfield. And next up for Wales is the aforementioned France, who will destroy them in Cardiff this coming weekend. There was also horrendous weather in Rome, like absolutely just like drenching rain in Rome. But Italy got a famous victory by beating Scotland 18-15. Italy have sort of for the past since I started watching the Six Nations in 2008. Italy are almost always the wooden spoon winners, unless one of the other teams is just god awful that year. Um, Italy beating Scotland uh, is a famous win. Um, they generally don't get many wins in the Six Nations. Questions remain over whether Scotland coach Gregor Townsend will be kept on for the Rugby World Cup. That's next year. He has a contract through the end of the Rugby World Cup, but there's been reports that he's agreed to take over as the head coach of a team in Newcastle at the end of the Rugby World Cup. So there's a lot of people who are saying Scotland doesn't have a great Six Nations. They got to move on from Gregor Townsend. Italy were much more aggressive and had a lot more desire for the win in that game. They were great. Scotland's now lost 5 straight away matches in the Six Nations. And for some reason that I do not understand, Scotland didn't play their most dangerous try scorer, Duhan van der Merwe. Expect him to play this week. Rodney with a great question. Where can you watch the Six Nations? It is on Peacock. Normally they would show some of the games on NBC, but because of the Olympics, they're not showing them on there. So it's all on Peacock. Next up for Italy, they go to Dublin to face Ireland, which I think Ireland will still win, but Italy will put up more of a fight in that game than I think Ireland did against France. And next up for Scotland, a home visit from England. That should be a really good game. The Calcutta Cup is what that game is called, and Scotland has a history of upsetting England, so that should be interesting. There we go.
Yeah,
That's the score summary.
I did get to watch the Ireland France game. It was a beatdown. The second half was really fun to watch. There was a hit that I said to Adelia, I said if that happened in the NFL, it would be a 15-yard penalty because this guy absolutely got destroyed
Yeah,
as he let the ball go.
I
I learned something.
absolutely love rugby. Rugby is so much fun to watch because it's so violent and there's not really
Yeah,
flags. There's no flags. So you have to do something seriously bad for there to be a penalty, basically. I mean, there's your offsides and stuff like that. I didn't know a thing about rugby when I started watching it in 2008. Now I watch it all the time. It's really a fascinating sport and I like it much better than the NFL.
yeah, it's very fascinating. And
Plus,
I
these
love
guys
watching.
actually know how to tackle. There, I
That is
said it.
true. That is true. They do know how to tackle. So we'll be watching that. We'll be also be talking about that um, as we do more shows um, leading into the Rugby World Cup and even the Summer Olympics. They play it, right?
Yeah, they play rugby sevens in the Summer Olympics, which is a version of rugby that has fewer players on the field.
Yeah. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for that, and maybe we'll try to do some other stuff with this Six Nations. So keep a lookout. Gonna really quickly talk about the Olympics. If you didn't know, Winter Olympics is going on right now. USA is in. You don't have it up here. Norway's currently
They're in like fourth or
okay.
fifth in the overall medal table with 7 medals, um, but they're doing good so far.
Yeah, Norway has 12. Italy has 11. Did U.S. win the gold in curling yet, or they haven't played the match?
They played the match today. They got silver. It was a very close match, but they got the silver in the mixed doubles curling.
Yes. If you didn't know
But
curling,
but in that match, Corey Thesey, the woman in the mixed doubles, became the first American woman to win a curling medal. So that's cool.
that is kind of cool. Breezy Johnson won gold medal women's downhill skiing. Team USA gold in team figure skating. You're gonna have to pronounce this one for me.
Ben Ogden.
Ben Ogden. I should know that. Silver cross country skiing men's
Sprint
spring
classic. Sprint
sprint
classic.
class. Alex Hall, Silverman's freestyle slope style. Jackie Wiles and Paula
Moltzan.
Molten bronze women's team combined skiing. Okay.
Yeah, that's when one of them does the downhill and the other does the slalom, and they combine their times. And yeah,
Okay. Ashley
Farquharson.
won bronze in women's singles luge. Just the third American. Every time I think of luge, I think of the drink, not the actual thing.
No, she's just the third American to ever medal in a singles luge. That's cool.
Didn't they somebody win in speed skating gold for America? I just saw something the other day.
No, the women's speed skating that's happened so far was won by a Dutch woman who I found out is engaged to Jake Paul, so I immediately questioned all of her life choices.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, but there was
And
another one.
there was another one. There was some Americans going on short track speed skating today. None of them won a medal, and then those are the only 7 medals we've won so far.
Okay. Um,
What about the climbing the mountain and shooting event? That's called biathlon. That's mostly been dominated by the French and the Norwegians so far.
well, I mean, I, that makes sense.
Look, I have Norwegian ancestry, so I love seeing the Norwegians actually get to be good at things. We won a gold in team figure skating. Alyssa Liu was one of the members of the team figure skating event.
Um,
But let's talk about the real thing.
sure.
Today, USA women versus Canada women in ice hockey. This is expected to be the gold medal matchup. They were in the same group because the women's ice hockey has weird groups for the Olympics to try to prevent things like Canada scoring 20 goals on Italy and things like that. But today, the US women played Canada, and it was supposed to be a close match. It was not. The US women won 5-0. It was not even that close, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Shout out to USA women's ice hockey. Like I said, we'll dominate Canada and we're going to beat them with the men too.
Yeah. Ferris thought Alyssa Liu won an individual medal as well. They haven't had the women's individual event yet, Ferris.
So if you are watching the Olympics, yeah, we beat their ass. It's been actually really fun. I was really actually watching the curling a lot. I
There's a lot more curling to come. This was just the mixed doubles.
Yeah, there was obviously figure skating is really fun to watch some of the moves they do.
I
Um,
really enjoyed watching the rhythm dance yesterday because their theme was 90s. So all the music were all these great songs from the 90s. There was like 3 people who danced on ice danced to I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. Ferris saying we about to throw maple syrup in the bay. I wouldn't go that far, but it would be nice to win a third women's ice hockey gold medal. We've won 2, 1998 in Nagano and 2018 in Pyeongchang. We won the gold medals.
there we go.
Also, men's figure skating had their short program today. The Quad God, a name I found out today, he gave himself. Ilya Malinin is leading the short program after the short program. And then there's a great story on the men's figure skating team. His name's Maxim Naumov. I think I said that right. You remember that plane crash in DC last January where
Yeah,
like the plane was coming into land and it collided with the military helicopter?
yeah.
There was a lot of figure skating people on that plane. They were coming back from nationals. And on that plane was his parents, and everybody on that plane died. So he lost his parents. He's 24 years old now. He wanted to make the Olympic team to fulfill that dream he and his parents had together. He made the Olympic team at nationals, and he skated today, and he's in 14th place. So now he's advanced to the free skate. I agree, Brodney. You can't give yourself a nickname, but he's the only man who has ever in history landed a quad axel. So if he wants to call himself the quad god, no one can really argue with that because he can do all 4 of the jumps as quads, and no one else can.
You used to call me Quag God back in the day.
Ferris saying, "Damn, Rob and Ryan are asleep. I wanted to make fun of them to their virtual faces." Rob and Ryan did the hockey show last night. They will also be doing the hockey show again on Saturday and Sunday this weekend on this very channel.
So
If you
make
want to
the
talk
cat.
Olympic hockey,
Yes, make sure to catch that if you want to talk some hockey. Shout out
I
to
w-
Ryan Snark.
yeah. And then Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, the reigning world champions in the ice dance, are in second place heading into the free dance, and that's happening tomorrow. So we might win another gold medal tomorrow.
There we go. So we got gold medals in the Winter Olympics. Summer Olympics are coming up. We have the World Cup coming up, which I can't.
Summer Olympics aren't coming up for 2 years. Like, let's get real.
Yeah, we'll still be around. But the World Cup for soccer, I'm excited about to cover with you guys because we are going to be covering
Hmm.
with Ferris.
We're gonna be covering the World Cup on this channel. Many starting 11 episodes. I'm already like getting anxious thinking about how many episodes we're gonna have to do. But at least the games will be at a decent hour because they'll be here and not in different time zone halfway around the world. So I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch soccer. And we'll be doing a lot of coverage for that, probably starting in March, because in March we finalize the last teams that qualify for the World Cup because they have the European playoffs. So
So be there, come hang out with us for that. Again, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of off-season football stuff. Baseball's around the corner, so we will talk a little bit of baseball
mhm.
and how cheap the Colorado Rockies are. Don't get Adelia started on that one.
I don't even know what to say about them. I don't even think they've signed a free agent.
They were like, we're just gonna run it back.
We'll run it back. We'll win another 40 games. It'll be fine.
We'll talk some baseball. We will talk off-season football. We are also going to be talking, like I said, World Cup, more rugby stuff.
Oh,
Um,
I was wrong. We've signed 2 people. Willie Castro signed a 2-year deal, and we added Michael Lorenzen, who's described as a starter. I've never heard of these people. We've also signed a few minor league players because that'll be helpful.
yes, we have the NFL Combine. May bring on Ferris to talk about some NFL Combine because he knows all about that stuff.
And
I
March
don't.
Madness, we're going to cover March Madness on here too.
Yeah, we'll cover some March Madness. Hopefully, North Carolina loses. I am a Michigan State fan, which is really weird
That
because
is really weird. Is
yeah,
it Tom Izzo?
bet you didn't know that about me, huh?
No, is it Tom Izzo? Was it because of Tom Izzo?
No, my favorite
What
player is
is it because?
Magic Johnson played for Michigan State.
Oh, I don't have a college team, but apparently Nebraska's been good this year. People have been talking about it.
There you go. Um, yeah, so we have a lot of things coming up. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell. Make sure to join us. Like I said,
Ferris is threatening to hit people with Canadian bacon.
what? That's not Canadian bacon. Is not even Canadian bacon. It's just ham. I'm so tired of that.
I had to have a very long conversation with Ryan one day about what Canadian bacon is
It's
because
just
he didn't
ham.
know.
All
I was
it
like,
is ham.
it's
not even
literally
like
sold
bacon.
down here as Canadian bacon. It's not disrespectful to say you're young. That's true. And Ferris is shouting out Mateen Cleaves for some reason.
So make sure to hit that notification bell. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to come hang out with us. Like I said, we're gonna be switching up the times. Not the time, but the how many times we do the show.
We're
We're
gonna
probably
do it
gonna,
every other week, so we'll be here
yeah.
twice a month.
Yeah. Make sure to check out our other channel. We'll have a bunch of cool stuff going on over there.
I'm not gonna put that comment on the screen, Brodney, but exactly.
Of course, Ferris would do that. Jesus Christ, Ferris.
Ferris. Okay, we're getting out of here now.
We are getting out of here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Make sure to check all the links in the description. Make sure to join our Discord. Make sure to come hang out with us. Really appreciate everybody that was in the chat tonight. We hope you have a great night. Be safe, and we will talk to y'all later.